Hello, class. I'm going to try to create a series of quick videos this afternoon to deal with how to deal with like a site in SketchUp, especially on a large site. This is because last semester I did a nice urban design project and sort of trying to create representation drawings of the site. It can be tricky. How do you get the information easily? How do you represent it easily? To convey the information. So I'm going to do a three-part video here. I think the first one is how to get site right into SketchUp using its tools. Then how, once you have something designed, how do you apply your design onto that site without literally modeling everything, which if you're doing a big new neighborhood or something is just too time consuming and there's no value in it at all. So there'll be two videos on that, one basic and one sort of a little bit more in depth. So this one I just want to show how to pull in a site into SketchUp. There's some nice features. So I'm going to go to File. Wow, whoa. I'm going to go to Geolocation here. I'm going to go to Add Location. And it's going to pull up this dialog box for me. Let's give it a second to load up. And you'll go to where you can search location here. It's finding where I'm close to where I'm sitting at. So I'm going to actually go to SUNY Delhi for this just as an example. And I'm going to put my project right here. I'm going to study this area. I'm going to use this farm piece as what could be a new neighborhood just for this example. So you can start by zooming in and out. I'm using my mouse scroll wheel to get an area. If you zoom in, it sort of changes the box. I could probably, let me try one more time. I might not quite get enough there. I think this for me is looking pretty good. So I'm going to select region, and I can still change the region from in here if I want to. I could tighten it up if I want, but if I get the entire farm and some surrounding context, that's always important. So I'll just say that looks good, and then I'll hit the grab button. And there we go. SketchUp zoned out there for a second, but you can see what it pulls into the SketchUp is the satellite image. Now this isn't particularly great because you might be able to tell by some of the shadows, and the reason why I purposely chose this site is because there's lots of topography going on. Now that has been uploaded, it just is hidden in SketchUp. So what you have to do is you have to go over to your layers to find mine right here, and you can see because mine's a blank file, I don't have anything in here. I only have the standard layer 0, and it brought in these two layers. Location snapshot, that's on, that's what I see. And if I check this on and check that guy off, you can see it's also brought one on called terrain, and in that one we can see it's brought in a three-dimensional model of what this looks like. So this is on and off. Now the other thing you'll notice in here is that when I select on this, I get this red box rather than the typical blue box for a group. That means it's locked. All right, I can't do anything. That's both the snapshot and the terrain are both locked. That's an easy way to fix that. I'll usually start off right away just by right-clicking over the object and saying unlocked, and it turns to blue, so you can edit it. And actually, if you're just bringing in the site, maybe that doesn't matter, because what it'll do is it'll adjust everything for you, and now it knows where you're located, and the sun shadows and everything will be right. You don't necessarily want to move it, but in these next steps I'm going to be putting over design data on top of this, and so I'll have to edit this terrain, and so therefore it will have to be unlocked to do that editing. Try to remind us in that video. The other thing which I have done before, just as a little sort of tip, maybe you guys will request videos at some point. Okay, I know this was a jump. My phone rang. I answered it. I paused it. I'm back. And I just wanted to say, I've done projects before where I don't have like a survey, I don't have topography lines, but I want to put it into CAD or something like that. And I've used a model like this, and I'll make a plane across my entire project and offset it every 10 feet, and then use intersect with model. And then each of those planes essentially will have a topography line on it. I can then export that back into AutoCAD, and sort of, it's not an official topography, but if I'm just initial design, it really gets me where I need to go. So if anyone wants to see that, you can comment on that, and I can make that video from a file like this or any file. So let me know, and I will instead in my next video move on to sort of putting my design on top of this. So I'll see you there.